Hi, Gurmit. How are you?
Andrei, I'm fantastic. Thank you very much for having me on.
Yeah, nice. So I'm very glad to see you with our podcast format with Behomes. So I happy present my friend Gurmit here before. Gurmit has got a big experience with sector real estate. So today we can talk about it. Welcome, Gurmit.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it's very interesting to be in Dubai right now. Last time I was here was 2006. I was selling real estate and there was nothing here but a desert. There's still desert, but there's a little bit less desert and more skyscrapers. So yeah, things are good, man. Thank you very much for having me on.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Can I clarify, your career started with taking real estate courses in 2000s, right?
Yeah, well, basically, I've been in sales since I was 9 years old. So my father had a business in the East End of London. So I'm born and bred in East London. My parents came from a place in India called Punjab, which is in the northwest. So they had a business where they sold garment machinery. So from a young age, I was selling things. I was used to dealing with the public, dealing with customers, and more importantly, handling money. And then in the early 2000s, I got involved in UK property. Then commercial property, which are shops, offices, industrial units. And then I'm very lucky, I worked for a firm of chartered surveyors, which are a specific type of accredited estate agents in the UK. And we helped the London government get the site for the London 2012 Olympics. And then I set off on my own, started doing overseas property. So yeah, and I still dabble in bits of property here and there. It's always interesting to see how the market is changing, how new types of development, new types of builds are coming on. And especially after coming to Dubai, after last time I was here was about 2007, 2008, just seeing the change here. It's exciting. So exciting that we've set up our headquarters here for our Web3, blockchain and NFT servicing company here. And
We talk about it today.
Yeah,
Nice.
we're going to cover that, man, I'm sure.
How soon after that did you open your own firm in London?
The office where I worked in, it was a medium-sized company and they were involved in property. A very old business going back to 1933, a family business, third generation. And they had pretty much everything nice and tight. They had their clients. They worked with the local government. But I remember seeing the guys working there. They've been working there for 25 years, 30 years. And one day the guy finished his work for 30 years. He'd been working there and they gave him a very cheap watch. And I thought, that's bullshit. That's not going to be me. So I took my information and I started my own business, which I came from a business background anyway. My father came to the UK with not much money. So, it wasn't new territory. For us, our dads are our heroes, So, my hero did that.
Yeah.
Man, I could do it as well, right?
What motivated you to open your first business?
BMW convertible. The new shape just came out. And where my dad's shop was, his business, across the road, there were guys who were doing property. And property was going up really fast. So in the UK, every September, the new model came out. Now it's twice a year. And every September, there would be 7 or 8 brand new BMW convertibles outside there. Brand spanking new, all in different colors. And I was like, I wouldn't mind this. Then it started getting stupid. And this is not a nice neighborhood. This is not Knightsbridge. This is not Kensington and Chelsea. This is East London. It's pretty rough neighborhood. Then it started getting silly and they started making serious money. Then every September, there'll be Aston Martins. Yeah, there'll be like Range Rover Jeeps.
Yeah.
I was like, man, these lot are doing it. Why can't we do it? And I started doing it. And yeah, we were very successful.
Nice motivated. Yeah.
A little bit of time, but it took a little while. It was very difficult for me because my mother always used to say, we're not going to do it because we don't understand it. And so she kind of held us back for a little while because she was scared of starting something new. But I had to do it, man. A year later, I got my BMW convertible. It was good fun because you can spin the back out if you've driven a BMW. It's a rear-wheel drive.
Yeah.
You have a lot of fun on that. So
Nice
it started with the BMW, but it was also about understanding this asset class. There's a saying, there's no greater investment than bricks and mortar. Bricks and mortar, they're always in demand. Property's always in demand. And if you know how, unfortunately, a lot of people don't know how the financial system works. It's debt. You can only make money if you borrow money and refinance. So this is something I learned from some people who were very close by. Couldn't do it alone. It's a part of being a team, having a support network. So yeah, it was also having some very good friends guiding me along the way, who they're still my good friends even to this day.
I heard you talking about the property crash in London. Could you please describe the situation again?
It's very unfortunate because unless you're educated and you look at financial patterns, you don't know that everything goes round in cycles. We have ups and downs, booms and busts. So the last time we had a property crash in the UK was, I think it was about 91. Before that, it was 87, 1991.
1991.
Before that, it was 87, where the interest rate went up to 18%. People were killing themselves. They were literally killing themselves. But the problem is that it happens after such a long time that the next generation, they're going to have recollection. Until you speak to somebody who's 60 years old and they say, yeah, oh, it happened at this time and it happened at this time. So it's almost like you think the party's never going to finish. Man, one day the party finishes. The light comes on and you find out you've been dancing with a really ugly girl. Do you know what I mean? So it's a matter
crazy,
of,
I think.
We just kept forward. The price is going to keep going up. It's going to keep going up. We were buying in the UK. Then we started looking at emerging markets. At the time, the emerging markets were Czech Republic, Prague was a very big market, Latvia and Tallinn, very big markets. Spain and Portugal were already established holiday markets from the 1980s and 90s. But in 2000s, they started booming up as well. Morocco, Tangiers, Marrakesh, they started building up there. Turkey, which is all established now, Bodrum, Belek, and all along that Turkish Riviera, Southern Cyprus, Sharm el-Sheikh, Egypt was very big. Because I have an Indian heritage, India just allowed foreign direct investment in. So there was a middle class, the IT sectors were opening up. So all these massive cities were opening up, cinema complexes opening up, all this property boom. And of course, Dubai.
Yeah, Dubai.
I came to Dubai and my first time, I wish I had your website back then.
Yeah.
I could have found the property, the new builds. I left this country with 20 kilos worth of catalogs from Damac, from this builder, from that builder.
Arlington, and to know the developers.
All the developers, I had it, and I took the suitcase back to England and I showed it to guys. And then we bought the property, as you do. Then we refinanced. Then we bought another property. Then we refinanced. Then we got brave. Then we started doing our own developments, investing in the developments. And we thought, we're rich for life.
Yeah.
And then bang, crash. One day we wake up. No, we ring the developers. They go, sorry. Well, what do you mean sorry? We got our money here. Sorry, we can't do nothing. Well, we're in England. What can we do?
Where's my money?
I can't call the police. I can't go to the court. It's a different country. And many of us, I mean, loads of my friends, we lost a lot. I lost nearly everything. And then the crazy thing, the thing that made me really mad was we as the investors, nobody cared about us. These big banks, man, they were given hundreds of millions of the taxpayers' money to get out.
Yeah.
That really pissed me off.
So, it's crazy stories, I think. What do you think about property bubble in Dubai? Is it true or not?
It looks like there's a huge bubble right now. But it's not just here. We live in a global economy. We have done for a very long time. 2008, 2009 demonstrated that what happens in one part of the world is going to have an effect all around the world. I've experienced this myself, where I had property in the UK, in Turkey, in Egypt, in Morocco, in India, even in Malaysia, which were like some resort with some very cool place. Yeah. Now it's very cool. I wish I still had it. I would be there right now, right? But when, as they say, when the shit hits the fan, now it's everywhere. In the UK, the property market's stagnant and it's dropping down now. There's different factors driving the prices up here. Yeah, it's an awesome place. It's an awesome city. Probably a correction. I don't know if it's going to be a huge drop. But there certainly does seem like there is a bubble here. Having experienced what I experienced, I'd rather not rush into buying anything. Yeah, because I'm not 17 anymore. I'm not in a hurry to. So I've got this, I've got that. It's not a race. 10%. It's not a race, it's a marathon. Yeah, this is a property, especially. It's a longer term thing. I'm not flipping it or trading it. So we'll see what happens in the next year or so, next 2 years.
Do you remember when we showed you our analytics system at Behomes platform? We have been using data for the last 10 years, incorporating official data from DLD, Dubai Land Department, to illustrate the growing of properties in each district with accurate numbers. I believe this is the best solution for brokers. What do you think about it?
Listen, I've been using these type of tools for 25 years. Guys, their tool is amazing. I mean, like when he showed it to me, I had a look at the whole system. It's so perfectly put together. Like we were using, you see, estate agents, residential estate agents in the UK, they just used to open the newspaper. This is before the internet. That's how old I am, right? So this is before the internet and website. They should get the local newspaper and see, oh, this price went for this time. Or maybe they go to the library. There's a place called a library where they used to have books and used to get them. This is before websites. So you go to the library and they'd have a stack of papers and they look 6 months ago. This is where they used to get their prices from. Because I worked in the firm of chartered surveyors, new language was thrown at me, which I didn't know. And what we used to use was comparable evidence. And because it was a commercial property, you had to look at it at a different perspective. You're not just valuing the whole house, you're valuing per square foot.
Residential right now.
Square foot on commercial, industrial square foot, a different size. As you go up, it gets cheaper. So you have to do more market research. So I've used loads of tools, but the tools these guys have got, I'm telling you, a 5-year-old could understand it. It's so well put together. I'm just getting excited just thinking about it. Like I've said, when I get back home, I'm showing it to all my friends. Man, they're going to go mad over it. The analytics in there, by region, where you can do the specific areas. You can see exactly what each apartment, how many bedrooms.
4 metrics, for the main metrics. Average price for each district, average rent for each district, and average meter square. And total profit. Total profit for rent. And plus average growing for each year. So I think it's good tools for other brokers and real estate agency who living with Dubai, who work with Dubai, or maybe who work with UK. Yes,
dude, you're playing it down. It's the most powerful tool in property there is. You know what I mean?
Artificial intelligence
it's
with
amazing,
property.
Man. Every investor wants to see the rent price, the selling price, the difference, how much it's gone up. This is at a granular level. This is game changing, man. This is why I'm so excited, and I'm so happy to be your friend as well. He's going to make me a lot of money in the future. Using your platform.
Thank you.
Amazing.
So Gurmit, say about what the main difficult you faced when doing business in this sphere, in Web3.
In the Web3 right now, I'd say there's no difficulties. There's just opportunities. The difficulty has been getting this started for me, getting to this point. I started investing in Bitcoin in 2014 and Ethereum in 2016. And the reason I started investing in this was because after the property crash, I went into a bad depression and I got myself very, very sick. I ended up having something called ulcerative colitis, where there's ulcers. So it didn't heal. So I had 14 operations in 3 years, and I died twice on the operating table. The interesting thing, where I died twice was the same hospital I was born in. So I like to say, in that same hospital 3 times, I came to life, because twice I died. So it was like a depression because the business is gone, and you think, because when you're money orientated, you think there's only money, but money's just a small part of this whole wonderful experience we have here on this planet. So I started going very anti-establishment, like in the terms that the banks, they're ripping us off. So I subscribed to a lot of newsletters, online newsletters, and I subscribed to one by this Canadian guy who was a libertarian, and he was all about how the banking system's corrupt, etc. You need to buy gold, you need to buy silver, more importantly. And then he started mentioning Bitcoin. He kept going on about Bitcoin, Bitcoin, Bitcoin. What's this bullshit Bitcoin? I had a look. It was like $80. I was
What
like,
years?
2013.
2014.
So it took me 2 years to buy my first Bitcoin. Yeah, went from about $80, $90. And I think when I started buying it, it was about $250.
It's very early. Really.
It was pretty early. I bought quite a lot because I don't know. I don't class myself as a gambler. My dad never liked us gambling. He didn't let us go put anything in the machines. But a few years ago, I realized that I must be a gambler because I was in crypto. But I didn't view it as that because more than looking at it, it was just a quick way to make money or to flip it. Like I remember when I went to buy Ethereum, the guy who I bought my first Bitcoin from, I gave him £10,000, which is about at the time
£10,000 for one Bitcoin?
No, for quite a lot.
For
quite a lot. I'm not going to say how much, but it was quite a lot of Bitcoin. I didn't know what I was doing. I had I can't remember which wallet, a blockchain.com wallet. I had no idea. And this guy back then, he sold me £10,000 worth of Bitcoin, which at the time it was $2 to the pound. So $20,000 worth. And it was quite a lot of Bitcoin. He was buying at that time Ethereum on the ICO. So I don't know how much Ethereum this guy picked up. And before he walked out, he said to me, you need to buy Ethereum. So I left it for 2-3 months. But back then you couldn't find out. There was no YouTube channels. There was no Twitter people talking about it. There was definitely no TikTok or anything back then. So I was a member of a few Facebook groups. I typed in, how do you buy Ethereum? And nobody answered me for 3 days. Nobody knew. And then somebody said, try Kraken. And so I went on Kraken. And then because I'm in the UK, they only accepted euros. So I had to put the money in this account and get it. It was very hard work. And then by the time I bought it, I think Ethereum was like £4, which was about $8 at the time. And then I ended up buying it at $6. And I was all sad. Oh no, it's gone up $2. And I was all feeling unhappy about it. But what really excited me was the technology behind it. You know, I come from a generation, I know I don't look it, I'm almost 48, thank you. But I've come from a generation when I remember there were typewriters in the house. My sister used to have a typewriter. We had a computer, I didn't do nothing. It had a cassette you put in and it used to make a screeching sound. Everything was very, very basic. Offices didn't have computers, they didn't have printers. So having seen how technology influenced everything, how the internet changed everything, how websites had changed everything, and then looking at the technology behind Bitcoin, and especially ERC20, Ethereum and smart contracts came out, I was like, man, this is going to be really, really big. So I did buy Bitcoin and Ethereum to begin with, but I was more interested in the technology. But back then, man, to get somebody to do a smart contract, firstly, there was hardly anyone. So finding the right person was very difficult. So I live just on the edge of the city of London. I'm in East London. And so to get into the city of London, which is the financial capital, it was like half an hour, 30 minutes on the underground, one straight train. So I used to go to meetup.com, go to a lot of things. We had the Google campus. I remember I went to the first Ethereum Enterprise Alliance meetup. Vitalik was in the room in the corner. Nobody knew who he was. There was 20 people there. And this was in about 2016. Fast forward about a year and a half. It was held in Imperial College, which is in South Kensington. And there was 400 people in the auditorium, 200 people in the other. And this is when the EEA came on board, BP, HP, all these guys started using Ethereum for smart contracts. So the challenges were in the past, to answer your question in a long way. And there was no talent pool. There was no skills. There was no programmers. There was no smart contracts. People didn't understand it. The very few, I even tried to learn Solidity myself, which is the ERC20, but I'm no computer programmer. I just didn't get it, you know. I'm a different type of person. So finding somebody, I found one guy, it was just getting the talent. And then a few years ago, out of nowhere, this guy drops out of nowhere and he's a genius, you know, and he's my partner now. His name's Noman ul Haq. He currently lives in Bahrain with his family. And me and him have been talking on Zoom for a couple of years. We set up a partnership. So literally Dubai last Saturday was the first time I met him. But we already set up the company because I trust the guy as well. Certain things have happened between how his approach has been to me. I'm like, this guy, and people don't usually have this level of trust in somebody like this. He's a genuine guy. So like I'm saying, I just see opportunities now, especially after coming to Dubai. Because man, this tech is in its infancy. It's so exciting. And then you've got AI coming on board, which can be plugged into this as well. Then you've got this whole metaverse, which nobody really understands. We've got a few interesting projects in this area. So our company's Aradchain Technologies. We initially established it because we wanted to disrupt the agricultural supply chain. So that was our first thing. There's farmers who are literally, it's like they have a gun to their head. These poor people, they're working in very poor countries. They're working very hard to get their crops and they get nothing. And they have to sell to somebody and they make profit, all these people. So we've come up with a proof of concept where we can cut everyone out and we can supply them low-cost finance, we can get them fertilizers. So it was a bit of a complex thing. We had that set up. So initially that was our first move into Dubai. But because my partner and I, we've completed over 50 blockchain projects.
Wow.
So from NFT marketplaces to creating NFTs, to blockchain multi-level marketing, to crypto exchanges. And then
very popular sphere.
Last year, 2 months ago, we did the top level. We created a blockchain from scratch. When we did that, we thought we can actually offer these services. Now we have the experience. Now we have the portfolio. We're not like a new company. We don't know what we're doing. Man, we've got track record of 4 years, customers, and also we have testimonials, which is what everyone wants to see. We've got live working models, which people are using. So we're like, let's come to Dubai and put it out there. So just opportunities now. And we're both very positive guys.
Yeah,
we can see the scale here as well. And it's not just here as well. Obviously, coming from London, particularly on the edge of the business district, where I can get to in 25 minutes, I'm going to be going back and really hitting that hard as well.
Yeah.
But we just want to establish up here.
So, Gurmit, please talk about your plans for growing your company. Do you have plans to use venture capital or anything else?
Yeah, definitely. Well, look, for our 2 projects we just came into a really excited second project. Now, this is completely off the spear. So I got approached by some guys they're a Canadian mining company and they have gold mines in Peru. So they use a specific type of, it was developed by the US military, and the satellite technology can detect anything under the ground that's on the periodic table. So we have satellites which can run over these sites with the gold. Then once you have this in place, and we know where the sites are, so the company has the sites. We have a JV with these guys. They go to the sites and they plant black boxes around the sites. And then for 30 days, these black boxes are there. And every day the guy on site takes out the SD card, puts it in the machine. After 30 days, we have a 3D rendering of all the gold under the ground. And we have also the quantity, the quality, and the grade of it. So we've developed a process where we can put that into an NFT marketplace where that can be traded, and we can do a crowdfunding on it as well. So for those ones, we'd need venture capitalist funding. I'm speaking with a few people right now in the DIFC. But on the flip side, I'm networking. I'm meeting people from various companies who want to use our services to build blockchain. We're actually going to be doing a special offer in the DIFC to create an NFT marketplace for everybody at a really cheap price. And you can create your own token. I think we're looking about $200.
DIFC, please, because maybe our audience needed new information about our technology hub.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we wanted to be in the place where it's happening in terms of the government support. It's really important to have your government back in a certain sector. And they're all in on technology here. They're all in on Web3, metaverse, and everything else, and AI. So we like that. And this is a hub. It covers a huge area, Mensa area, Middle East, North Africa, and South Asia. This is a center of this whole specific area. London's cool as well. Don't get me wrong. London's a hub for all of Europe. Obviously, California is on a different level as well. That's a global. And then you got Hong Kong and Singapore. But we liked it here, and we were looking at various other places where we could set up. We looked at various free zones, and then we were just about to sign Silicon Oasis,
Yeah.
D-Tech, and just about to sign. And then I must have signed up to some newsletter. This DIFC came in, and I phoned Nom and I go, dude, you got to check this place out. It looks off the hook, man. We got to have a look. And we researched it, but it wasn't easy to get in here. They don't let anyone in here. If you're in here, they've done very stringent checks on you, criminal record checks, bankruptcy checks, bank statements, the full work.
I think it's the best place.
I believe so, man. It's cool because I met these guys as well. So, that's the bonus.
You too, really.
But it's an exciting place to be in. And apparently I've come at the wrong time because everyone's left on holiday. But I'll be back in a few months anyway and spending more time. So, Dubai International Finance Center is a DIFC. I think that's the place to be, isn't it?
It is. I have heard interesting information about the audience interest in cryptocurrency. Apparently, only 5% of the population is currently using cryptocurrency. I'm curious about your blockchain system. What are your plans for growing your audience over the next 5 years, Gurmit?
Yeah, well, it's longer than that. Again, it's about looking at how tech has infiltrated every area of our life. It's everywhere. And particularly even more valuable than tech is data. Come on, man, that's the most valuable asset. That's always been the most valuable asset. Every single government, every single organization was using it, whether it's nowadays an algorithm or if it was a scroll of paper on a bird flying. That was all data being transmitted, and just the way that we monitor it and we can track it and we can receive it has changed. Otherwise, data has always been the most valuable commodity on the planet. Not the resources, but the data and the information. I think we need to look at future generations. Generations are born with tablets in their hand. They know how to use. They expect everything to be digitized, is what I'd say, and they expect everything right away. And this is what this tech provides. So in terms of our growth and the audience, I think will be organic as adoption increases, as cash also starts disappearing. During COVID, it was very interesting, yeah? You could get COVID from a banknote, but somebody could give you a coffee cup. Oh, wow, you can't get COVID from that. And then suddenly cash is going. So, it's just the way forward. Everything is digitized. So, and it's not about me. I'm an old man, oldish man. It's about the next generation. It always has been about the next generation. What are they going to be using? Every business needs to be thinking 2 generations, a generation below them, 2 generations below them, because that is going to give you longevity in the market rather than what the latest trend is. But having said that, trends are just changing so fast. And we all know about ChatGPT, what that's done.
Yes.
I don't need to think anymore. I wasn't thinking much before, but now I hardly need to think. I'm like, as we're all guilty, right? We all use it. So, I think it's going to be very organic as adoption increases. As an older generation, unfortunately, come on, we're not on this planet forever. They're dying, getting older. People who are born in the 50s, 60s, 70s. You're left with people like me who are born in the 70s. And then you're going to just have people who are born in the 90s, millennia, and you're going to have 20s, people born in the 2000s, and that's it. And that's all tech users. That's the future market. They can only expand.
Yeah. So, Gurmit, what do you think about Gather to Sphere coin market, and property market? Because we have more person who interested in gather this market with one maybe property coin, and make the similar stock market using coin and investing for property using cryptocurrency. What do you think about it? Is it true or not?
It's got to happen, isn't it? Let's face it. Everything is going digital now. It has to happen. What we're looking at the digitization or creating a digital duplicate and identity on the blockchain and using some type of tokenization system with it just makes it easy to trade. The difficult bit is getting the governments, getting the legislation around it. I remember my first story when I heard about Ethereum back in 2016. This is one that got me excited about Ethereum. The story was that they said that a tanker of oil, where they transport the oil, it left, I think, Africa or somewhere around there, and it was going to Scandinavia, and it took 3 days to get there. During that time, the contents were bought and sold, and this is in 2016, bought and sold 3 times using smart contracts. And if they wanted to do that by paper, that would have taken 10 days. Yeah. So that was what really got me excited about Ethereum, smart contract technology. So they've been, but then it's about the process. Like in the United Kingdom, I'm not sure what the situation is here in the UAE, but for us, buying a property is a very long experience. It could take, as an ex-estate agent as well, a realtor, I'd be in the middle here. I'd have the solicitor on each side, the vendor and the seller. So the vendor is the buyer. So you'd have it on each side, and then you'd have their lawyers, each side's mortgage company. Then you'd have the government searches on each side. Then you have on each side, you'd have at least 6 to 12 different people involved. And you as a realtor, you're involved with all these calls. So it could take 3 months. I remember hearing that about Ethereum back in 2016. And I thought, wow, you know what? You can just have one smart contract and have this person's got to do this, 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 this. When they've done it, tick box, tick box, tick box, tick box. Well, the transaction could be done. And the UK government, they know this, but they're not implemented it. Who knows why? I don't know. But yeah, this is the natural progression. This is what we're looking at with this NFT project that we've got, where we want to digitize gold in the ground. Gold in the ground is much cheaper than gold out the ground. An ounce of gold in the ground is $200. Outside, it's $2,000. It's because you need to spend a lot of money to refine it, to mine it, get it out, get it processed. But we feel that there's an opportunity to digitize that, tokenize this. So it's going to happen with real estate, definitely. It'll be a plugin on your site, I'm sure, an API, and they'll be able to use crypto or something, maybe an Andrei's coin. I don't know, name it after yourself.
Yeah. Interesting solution with our product. Thanks.
Yeah, it's coming up, man. I think you just got to be ready for it. It's all about government legislation. It's about when they're going to allow it to happen. The tech's there. The technology's there ready to do it. It's not rocket science. We know because we build these type of platforms. We could build that for you, and build an exchange where you could exchange it, and a decentralized finance platform that you can plug it in and stake it. And we can get very creative, but it's down to the big boss at the top. And I'm not talking about God. Yeah, the one below that.
But right now we have focus, and we have focus only growing our audience, professional brokers and a real estate agency. Maybe after 1 year, we think about integrated with Web 3.0. Yeah, growing our another audience. Yeah, because how we talk 10 minutes ago, we have classic audience. Yeah. Who works in using classic coin format, classic money. And if you need plus new market, you can using cryptocurrency and plus 5% audience with your classic audience format. And I think it's a good idea.
Definitely. Listen, we're going to give you a special discount when they want to have it done. In England, we call it mates rates because we're mates. Mates means friends in England. So we give mates rates, man. But yeah, it's definitely going to happen. You're going to have very soon you're going to have a generation who are going to be buying property and they're going to say, why are you not accepting crypto? Why can't I give a token? They don't know what cash is. Almost like, do you know what a VHS is? A video cassette? No, there you go. It's what we used to watch movies on. It was like the cassette and you put it in and then you had DVDs and now it's streaming. So it's a similar trend.
It's the future.
This is it. It's the future now, man. It's just they don't know it yet, but when they know it. But I think it's all about when that next generation come into working environment and they start earning themselves and they can spend themselves, they'll expect this type of thing. And I know you guys are going to have it because we're going to build it for them at a special price.
Yeah, thank you. So, Gurmit, you have both more than 100 different cryptocurrencies. Yeah, how did you access this risk? Maybe wasn't it scary to lose money?
I only started buying them. So we're talking about 2017 when ERC20 came out, when Ethereum came out. So I was already on my Bitcoin. I was already 500x anyway, right? And I didn't know. It's just digital, right? So I was literally, when these other coins came out, it was just white papers or on Facebook groups. So you've been to the candy shop. the first time, and you want to pick every sweet up. Everything looks good. So that's what it was like. So I actually bought about 1995 coins in about 4 months. At that time, Ethereum also launched their .ens domains. I don't know if you know about these. They were basically, instead of you having to type a long name in, a long Ethereum address, you could assign a name to it. So like bananas.ens. So they thought that these would be attracted to this. So I went crazy on them as well. I bought 2,000 of them. It took me like maybe 2.5 weeks, all day, all night. They ended up paying off pretty well because I sold them all last year. So I made some money. But it was just like a frenzy. And I think you see this happen every cycle. So it happened to me when that happened first in 2017. ERC20s came out. It happened again in 2019 as well when Binance bought their coin at BNB, again, another wave. So it was just pure speculation, excitement and hype, which is right now I don't buy any cryptos. Actually, I'm not holding any digital currencies as well. Just because of the state of the global economic situation, the inflation prices, I'd rather buy gold and silver. I think that's a safer bet. And just see what happens to the crypto price. Yeah, Bitcoin, this is going to hit $100,000 at some point. Who knows when, but I'm not waiting out for it. I've had a lot of fun in the crypto market. Now the buzz is to build something on the technology rather than just buying the coins, and build something quality that's going to last. We get people coming up to us all the time, even asking us, can you put a backdoor in the code or something? And we just refuse to do it. I believe that more people need integrity and honesty in this sector. I've been scammed maybe 20, 30 times. 3 years ago, I got scammed out of 2 Bitcoin, which was $60,000, man. That was painful. You have no idea. That was real painful. I didn't tell no one apart from you guys. So please don't say nothing. But it's pain. But this, as I say, shit happens. Yeah, what are you going to do? Just get on with it. So yeah, right now I wouldn't buy any token. I think there's much more better things to invest in, like the projects we got coming up, which I may share later. But yeah, it's hype that did it at the time. And there was greed as well, because I created so much wealth in a short space of time. When you've got your parents used to earn 30, 40, 50,000 dollars every year, and then when you can go to sleep and you wake up the next day and you've done $40,000-$50,000, you can't beat that feeling. It's great. But then when you wake up the next day and it's all the way down, it's painful. But I think this is just part of the experience of investing. And I think, it's good on the bigger picture. It makes you realize that money isn't everything. Your health is very important. Your friends and family, they're key as well. And also helping other people. I think that's very, very important in any way you can. I think we're a collective here, and we're in humanity. We're even more focused on ourselves all the time. It's very narrow. It's got to be me, me, me. How can I get this now? So I find a lot of techniques, meditation, etc., can kind of ground me in that area. I'm much less of a risk taker now, but I still like to take the odd risk here and there, which is why I'm in Dubai, right? Otherwise, I'll be sitting nice and comfortable in England right now. So, yeah, I think you've got to take some risks in life. You don't want to be that person at the end of your days thinking, I wish I did this, I wish I did that. Fuck it, life's short. Enjoy it a little bit. Take that risk. Do that thing that you think, maybe I'm not going to do it. And if it doesn't work out, then as long as you learn something from it, then you've actually won. You've benefited. If you've learned nothing from it, then you've actually lost. But no matter how shit it is, if you learned a lesson and it helps you grow, then you actually won, man. You know what I mean? That's the way I see it. That's my view.
Nice. So thanks a lot for your stories today. Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
I'm very glad to see you, and I very appreciate for you come to our podcast. It's a very good time for talk about your stories, your new business in Dubai. And I think in future we talk about your new news.
Amazing.
Yeah,
amazing. Thank you.
Your new product for your blockchain.
Yeah. Next one, and we'll also at some point we'll be talking about Behomes, how they've integrated Web3 and how they're using blockchain technology to spread across the globe.
Yeah.
You know.
I don't know. Maybe it's our next steps.
Yeah, it's happening anyway. I can see it because like, I've been using various sites in the UK, very primitive ones, and even now, so I'm familiar with the technology that people use to look at real estate, and you guys are amazing.
Nice.
Sign up to their site, please.
Sign up today. Yeah, go to subscription with Behomes.
Behomes is the one.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gurmit, for your attention. So, audience, go to subscribe to our channel. It's our channel for company Behomes. We are glad to see your views with our channel. Thanks a lot.